there. This is going to be a workout for when you want to stay seated. Maybe you're experiencing some knee pain or some leg pain, or you feel like you've been on your feet a lot lately, or for whatever reason, you might just want to do a seated workout. I'm going to be using 5-pound dumbbells. You don't have to use weights if you don't have any or you don't feel like you need weights. So you can also follow along with the exercises without weights and just squeeze and extend your muscles as I do the movements. Or if you have 2 water bottles, you can use those to hold. A bag of beans is about a pound, like dry beans, or a soup can in each hand. Any of those things would work too, or again, just nothing in your hands. We'll start with some upper body exercises, some arms, shoulders, upper back. We'll do a couple core exercises, and then we'll do a couple exercises for our hip flexors and stretching our calves out a little bit with weights, seated, but nothing putting direct pressure on your legs or your knees for these exercises. So these would be great when you want to avoid those. We'll start with the basic curl. I'm going to do 10 of each exercise just to demonstrate them. And I would recommend going through this exercise 2 to 3 times. So going through from the beginning to end, just replaying it a second time and then a third time if you feel up for it. In between the sets, remember to rest for a while, drink water, give yourself a chance to rest, and then start again with the next set. So the first one, we'll start with our basic curl. I'm going to get my weights. I'm going to use both of them. Sometimes people like to do one side at a time, which is fine. I'm going to do both. You can decide which one you want to do. For this, I would recommend sitting a little bit at the edge of your chair just so you can clear a full extension for the curl. So you're holding your weights, and we're going to do 10 curls up and down. Remember to keep your shoulders back and down, relaxed. We don't want to hike them up. This is 5. And 10. We're going to move to our shoulder press. We're going to do a double shoulder press. So we're starting here with your weights up here at your shoulders, your elbows are down, and we're just pressing our weights up for 10. We're going to move next to a lateral side raise, both weights again. We're starting with the weights at your side. Your hands are down and the weights are at your side. You're just bringing your arms up to the side as far as shoulder height. You don't want to go any higher. And we're going to go for 10. If that felt too difficult, I'm going to give you another option, which will be a front raise. So that'll be a single hand front raise. So you'll just take one weight in one hand, and you are going to keep a distance between your knees. The weight will fall between them. You're starting again low, it's in front of you, and then you're going straight up in front of you, only as high as your shoulder again. And you can do 10 on each side here. and then you'd repeat on the other side. If you want to do all 3 of those, you can certainly do that too. Sometimes the front raise is a little bit more comfortable for folks than the side raise, and that's fine too. Next, we'll do our bent over rows. This is where it's really important to make sure that you're in a chair that, maybe doesn't have arms that are really narrow, because you're going to need a little space to move your elbows back like this. So you're sitting at the edge of your chair and you're leaning forward, maybe like at about a 45-degree angle. Your weights are going to be in front of you again, hanging down, and what you're doing is you're pulling your elbows straight back like this. So some of you have done this movement on a row machine at the gym, or done them in our virtual classes. It's the same movement, and we're just rowing straight back. We don't want to bring our elbows out like this. We just want to keep them back. 8, 9, and 10. And that's with both weights as well. The next muscle group we're going to hit is going to be our triceps. So I'm going to show you 2 options for triceps. So one is going to be in a similar position to how we started the row. I might turn a little bit just to the side so you can see from the side. Your elbows will be back, so you're starting in the same position as the row, except what you're going to do is you're just going to extend them straight and then bend them back in. So the only part of your body that's really moving is just your forearms and your hands, and they're going straight back. You're hinging right at the elbow. You keep your shoulders locked here. That's 5. And 10. So that's one option. You can do both. You can do one at a time, whatever is most comfortable for you. Another option would be also using weights if you want to take one weight. If you feel like maybe doing both was too heavy, you can hold the weight like this in one hand with your hands on either side of the dumbbell, and you'll start with your arms up, and then you will just bend the weight back behind your head and extend your arms again. So it's a little bit lighter. You might be able to do more reps like this. They both target the same area. And 10. You can also do that particular exercise with a kettlebell if you just have a kettlebell. You can also do the rows if you have 2 kettlebells instead of dumbbells. You can really make anything work. You probably don't want to go too heavy if you have a kettlebell. The lightest it'll go to is maybe like 5 pounds, which is perfectly fine to use for weights, like regular dumbbell weights if that's all you have. We're going to move into our core exercises now. Again, this can be done seated. And the first one I'm not going to use weights for at all. And this one is just going to be our very simple crossover crunch. So this is one that, imagine if you're like just how you would do crunches if you were on a mat lying on your back, except you are trying to, the goal is to try to get your elbow as close to your knee as possible. And if you can touch them, great. If this movement feels like it's too much, you can also just try to tap your hands to your elbow, and that'll give you like a smaller crunch. But if you tap both sides, that'll count as 1. So this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We will also do some calf raises. So I am going to use weights for here just to demonstrate how you can make some of these exercises a little bit more challenging for you. I'm going to hold these 5-pound weights on my knees. If you feel like your knees are sensitive, you can put them a little bit higher up, you know, on your mid thigh. All I want you to do from this position is raise your heels off the ground so you're coming up onto the balls of your feet. And you're doing these calf raises. It's a little bit more challenging because they're weighted, but you're still not putting any pressure or weight directly on your knees. And that's 10. Also holding the weights, we're going to do some weighted side bends. So one weight first. We're going to do 10 on each side. So your hand is up here like you're doing a crunch. Your other arm is extended to your side with the weight, and we're just bending to the side, holding your core muscles tight and returning back to the center. Just these little bends for your oblique muscles. And then we'll switch to the other side. You can easily do this with a kettlebell as well. Great. Another core exercise we can work on. We'll use one weight. Actually, we'll use both weights. If you want to use one weight, I'll have you hold the weight like this, the same way we did the second example of a tricep exercise. You are raising your weight and lowering it. Each time you lower your weight, I want you to bring your knee up to try to meet the weight. So this is another core exercise. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, we'll use both weights. I'm going to demonstrate that one for 10. You're going to bring both arms up and down as your knees come up, kind of like a high knee march with some weights. All right. Okay, the last one that I wanted to do is some hip abductions. We're gonna stay seated again. We're gonna get your hips to stretch out a little bit from the seated position. So we're gonna keep both weights on our knees again, and we're gonna go one side at a time, and we're gonna do these abductions 10 on each side. So we'll start with the right side. Your weights are here on your knee or on your upper to mid thigh, and all I want you to do is keep your legs bent in a 90-degree angle, and you're just rotating your leg outward and back in. So you can tap your toe to the ground on the side and then back in the middle. And that's 3. Just a hinge right at the hip. And then we'll do 10 on the other side. and 10. All right, so those are some examples of a little seated workout that you can do with or without weights. Um, stick around. I'm going to be uploading some more videos that we can do in between workouts, or just as the weather starts getting colder and we're inside more, just so we can keep moving and keep gently conditioning our bodies during the winter months. Thank you for following along, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.